This Sunday will see us reach the end of the road to WrestleMania, and this showcase wrestling event is the cornerstone of every WWE fan's calendar. And this year is no different because whatever your opinion of the card, you will want to know the conclusion to all of the rivalries and storylines that this year has brought. Is this to be The Undertaker's final year? Can Charlotte retain the Divas Championship in a triple threat match? Is it possible that Dean Ambrose could actually beat down Paul Heyman's beast, Brock Lesnar? Which he really should, because frankly he should already be wearing the heavyweight championship. And talking of the title, can Triple H retain against Roman Reigns, or will this storyline be as predictable as a match between Hogan and Savage? Honestly, I don't know. The one thing I do know is that while you're waiting for your next match on the WWE Network, we have 3 WWE games to keep you busy. The 2K wrestling games have only been coming to PC for the past 2 years, which means if you're a PC gamer, you only have 2 installments available to choose from. This means that if you want some up-to-the-moment wrestling action, the only place to look is WWE 2K16. This year's installment boasts the biggest roster of muscle-bound superstars yet seen, allowing you to set up all kinds of bouts against legends and the current roster. The perfect way to pit Mankind against Dean Ambrose. The other bonus to this year's game is that the single-player story follows perhaps one of the most popular characters in wrestling. That's right, while 2K15 followed the fall of D-Generation X and the Cena CM Punk rivalry, 2K16 lets you live through Stone Cold Steve Austin's iconic Attitude Era matches. There's also a new career mode that lets you build your own superstar by progressing through the NXT roster and onto the main stage. Unfortunately, the game's combat feels quite dated and stiff. Despite having had a next-generation visual overhaul, characters are wooden and often glide around the ring before entering into animations rather than moving naturally. But until the developers get enough time to completely remake the game's engine, it looks like these 2K wrestling games will be the only place to enjoy some real WWE-style wrestling gameplay with your favourite superstars. When WWE's collectible card game, WWE Supercards, was released, I got sucked in deep, spending an embarrassing amount of money on booster packs to build my deck. And it really is embarrassing because there isn't much to it. You collect cards and from these select a hand of 5 to take into battle. Each card has its own superstar on it, each with their own stats for power, speed, toughness and charisma, all of which can be powered up by merging cards that you earn after each fight. Once your hand is ready, it's time to battle online. Bouts last 3 rounds, during which the cards comedically animate and wrestle. One round may focus on charisma, at which point you have to pick your most charismatic fighter, and if your stat is higher than your opponent's, you win. But just picking the highest stat is not always the best way to go, as other rules and strategies come into play. As you can't play the same card twice in a match, you don't know what the future rounds hold. Using your best card in the first match could see you weak for the rest. Equally, if there's a tag team round, then synergies between fighters could see you unexpectedly losing, or a character using a special ability to boost their stats could upset the results. Oh, and in case you're interested, in my deck I had a shiny Alberto Del Rio, Vince McMahon, Daniel Bryan, Rey Mysterio and Paige, and right at this moment I'm really resisting the urge to reinstall it. Finally today we have the Immortals, perhaps the best WWE arcade fighting style game in years. Taking the Injustice Gods Among Us engine, it removes Superman and Batman and replaces it with The Rock and John Cena. Not convinced that these superstars can pull off this kind of fighting game combat? Well, what if I told you that each wrestler was injected with mystical powers? That's right, if you've ever wanted to see Kane as an actual demon, The Rock as a stone warrior, or Nikki Bella as a pyromancer, then this is where you need to be. Like WWE Supercards, in Immortals you randomly unlock characters through play or purchase them with in-app currency before slowly leveling them up. Each 3-on-3 tag team match has you lead your hand-picked fighters into battle. The action is fast as you tap or swipe the screen to unleash light and strong attacks, or hold to block. String enough moves together and Immortals will prompt you to swipe the screen to unleash a devastating attack that plays into your fighter's theme, such as Randy Orton's Viper moves, which allow him to spit venom at his rival. Yes, early on you can just tap your way to victory, but in later stages you must carefully pick when to use moves and when to block if you hope to compete against stronger opposition. With character stamina restricting how much you can play without paying, you can find yourself limited on how many times you can fight in a day. But it's the perfect way to fill time between matches during WrestleMania 32. That's it for this week's show, but do let us know your favourite wrestling games in the comments, and feel free to comment on this year's WrestleMania. I need somebody to talk to about it because nobody else in the office enjoys wrestling. I'll be back in a week with another 3 games. Until then, remember to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Ah!